Nobody even got headphones
Do we have Bowman
on
in the
or
meeting?
anything. I don't have Bowman.
He said he can't find the meeting.
I sent it to him. Let me try it again.
Did you send him the right link?
Let's see.
Did you autocorrect it on accident?
Maybe. No, that fan is loud on my mic.
Possibility.
I'm going to put this over here. Check. Hey, look at that. Got rid of the buzz sound. Who's still there? Yes, I'm still here.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be the same thing that I sent him.
NNR ZJQ.
Yeah, that's
Not a G?
Nope, not a G, because the other one looks like a G.
Is the other one a Q too?
You sent L.
Yeah, GLO. Oops.
Riveting material, guys. Riveting.
So interesting. It's almost as interesting as the Super Bowl was.
I still feel like this is more interesting. This fan is so loud.
I can't hear it.
I can't hear it on my ears.
Can you hear it now? That buzz in the background?
Oh, when you speak? Yeah.
I have to put it here on this, which is fine. I could just
Now it's fine.
move this onto the table. Maybe.
Oh,
look,
there's a Bowman.
he showed up.
I wonder if he watched the game. Probably not. He was probably asleep.
All right.
Do they get American football over there?
I have no idea.
Is that a thing? I know the rest of the world watches international football.
I thought everyone got the Super Bowl.
It's not WrestleMania.
It could be.
What? That's where you draw the line. That right?
Cam, are you there? He's in. It shows he's in, but I don't have his audio or his video.
Can you see him?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Then
I feel like that's on his side, though.
yeah, it's probably waiting to connect.
Do you watch the game at an actual party? How'd it go over at your party?
Yeah.
Oh, it was fun.
Our party was fine. We didn't do anything.
I mean, listen, I feel like watching the Eagles drub the Chiefs with a Cowboys fan would be fun. Speaking of which, I should text Schmody.
It was hilarious.
For all I know, Schmody was actually at the game.
He could have been.
He was in Miami yesterday.
Check his Insta. We'll see.
Yeah.
Check the Insta deets.
I mean, with the group that he was in Miami with, it would make sense.
They're those kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair. The party boys. Oh.
What is it? I sent that.
I don't have your video or audio. Oh, you sent that.
Yeah. I wanted to see if he...
Look at what I'm smoking, Casey.
I saw that. Tell me what you think.
You there?
Nope.
Bush Pilot?
Well, it would seem I am. I can't tell.
Shit.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Look at that.
I can hear him.
Can he hear
Yeah,
us?
it turns out we do have the Super Bowl out here.
I bet you
Oh.
love
listening
that.
To listening to people bitch about Kendrick Lamar's set has been hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Mustard.
Chord A minor. I think half the people don't understand that he's actually calling out all of the rappers that were connected with P. Diddy in that song, especially
Yeah,
Drake.
it takes balls to play a Drake diss track live
Wow.
in front of the world.
In front of the largest audience in the world, basically.
I mean, it's also like everyone was saying like he couldn't play that song, and I was like, well, clearly
Drake
they
literally
set
wrote
up
him a
the
message.
production for it, so that was never really a thing. I'm like, but also when you win 5 Grammys, you can play whatever fucking song you want.
False. I mean, the NFL is very strict, but if they allowed it, you can play it.
I mean, I wouldn't expect Ice-T to play Cop Killer at the Super Bowl, but I think you could pretty
That would
much
be
play
so good.
95% of the music in the world and get away with it.
Yeah, I mean Kendrick Lamar is like, it was funny because there's like even all the white people I know out here are flipping out about it. They're like, it used to be the Rolling Stones, man. Now how far have we gone? Like, it's like, man, you just wake up. It's a different type of music. It's like it's the best. He's the best of the best aside from Eminem. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, and what was last year's the Snoop Dogg
Yeah, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, 50
Dr.
Cent,
Dre, was that last year or was that the year
Dr.
before?
I think
Dre.
that was
Was
last
last year in LA?
I can't remember.
No, last year was
No.
in Vegas.
Last year was
Year
Vegas.
before that, the one
That's
in
right.
LA.
Mm.
Vegas. Oh,
Last
Vegas was
year
Usher.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It was
Didn't they have
Usher.
NSYNC come back too? And all
Vegas, Cameron, back me up on this. Vegas should have been fucking
Wayne Newton.
Dick Dale.
Oh, fuck yeah. Dick Dale and the Deltones.
Yeah. Dick Dale, Johnny Cash, and who was fucking Lounge Against the Machine?
Oh, Richard Cheese.
And Richard Cheese. That should have been the Vegas halftime act.
Oh my God! You know what?
With a Penn and
I'm glad
Teller
you just
magic show?
reminded me of that.
Yeah.
I'm glad you just reminded me of that, Lane, because now I'm going to download that and I'm going to play it in my next DJ set. with Richard Cheese. I'll do a remix of Richard Cheese.
Although, don't forget
Oh
Chet
my
Faker.
God, dude! This weekend has been fucking insane.
Yeah, man, I keep getting texts, but they're all fucking vague and ridiculous. So tell me what happened.
So it starts off on Friday, right? And I'm at my show playing live music and whatever, and it's an open mic, so I have somebody else up on stage, and I go around and I talk to people, you know. And there's these two girls sitting out front, who I probably should have identified before I said hello,
Okay.
based on the general look.
Is this the
But,
red hat story?
This is the red hat story.
Are
I
you
feel
are
so,
you
I feel so
wearing
sorry for you.
the red hat?
I am wearing the red hat.
Mm.
So I'm there, right?
I'm sending you for the record. I haven't ordered them because I didn't want red hats. I'm going to order a red hat.
You already ordered
And
one.
do we have red?
Yeah, it should be in the back.
And we're going to press the big ash skull onto it for you just for this.
No, they're still at home. That's what they're at my
Hell
house.
yeah, bro. Hell yeah. So I go up to these. I talk to everybody when I'm at these shows, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of part of my job. And I go up to these girls and I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?" And they're like, "Oh, you're a Trump supporter, huh?" And I was like, "Okay, like I don't understand why this would be part of the conversation." And I don't know how to explain the absolute degradation and madness that happened in this conversation, dude. It was like everything I said. So it was one girl from New Zealand and one girl from Ohio. And so I kept trying to change the subject to get away from the political shit because I'm honestly not very political unless Lane's running for president, then I will be.
Lane's never gonna run.
Dude, the girl from Ohio has no ground to stand on. Her state voted for him by like 20 points.
Man, so I was like, "Oh, you're from Ohio, the home of the best comedian to ever live." And she's like, "Oh, so you're transphobic?" And I'm like, "Dave Chappelle is not transphobic, and neither am I. I've also had a fucking trans person stick in my mouth."
Oh, God damn it.
It was gonna go there. You should have known this.
I tried to cut it off. There was nothing I could do.
So then it gets even worse.
Well,
dude.
we're just gonna have to cut
Then
that
it gets
part
even
out.
worse. Then she's like,
Hey, $20 is
next-
$20.
the New Zealand girl is like, "Well, so what? You just live out here in Cambodia and just use Cambodian people?" And I was like, "What? Like, no. I have a business visa and I have a work permit. I have a legal business. Like, I don't. What are you talking about? Yeah, people like you just come and they always abuse these other countries and try to gentrify them." And I'm like, I don't. And she was like, "I bet you don't even know anybody in your village." And I'm
Wait,
like,
was this the one from Ohio?
"No, this was the New Zealand one."
All right, because I'm gonna be honest, man. Like, I don't know who looks at you generally and thinks gentrification.
Me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the butt tickler shows it all.
Yeah.
But but
You know what
so-
this guy's doing? He's supporting the incoming Costco.
Well, wait a minute. Are they building a Costco in Cambodia? Bro.
No.
They are now, apparently.
Going worldwide now.
Macro already.
Don't put that in
Macro
the
owns
universe. It's
market
gonna
out here, man.
happen.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Bubba.
Macro owns the market out here. That's their German company. But yeah, so then it's like, she's like, I was like, I know everybody in my village. We're all friends. Like, we're all very close. I hang out with them all the time. And all of a sudden, I realize I'm defending myself, and I'm like, what? Why am I doing this? Like, why am I even in this conversation anymore?
I'm not in California.
And then she's like, she's like, well, what do you actually do? And I'm like, I'm an event producer. And she's like, oh yeah, well, I'm sure that you do a lot of events and you don't give anything back. And I was like, are you kidding me? I do charity events all the time. She's like, oh yeah, what charities? And I'm like, All Animals of Our World, All Animals Are Swine, Paw Patrol. And she's like, oh, so you only support animals? You don't support humans? And I was like, okay. By the way, this section of our podcast is brought to you by Hero Rats. Hero Rats is an amazing foundation here because...
Oh, should they have a hat?
I wish
Got
I
a hat,
did.
a shirt, all kinds of things.
That's a wow.
So they
brazen.
They actually literally, because there's the big landmine problem from the Khmer Rouge era out here. They used to train German shepherds to go and smell find them.
Oh, they're
But
the mine rats.
Yeah, mine rats.
Yeah.
Basically. So Hero Rats, they're our actual sponsor for this section of the episode.
You know why they
really,
went to
really
rats?
Yeah, because the German shepherds kept getting blown up when they would find them.
Because they don't have possums.
Also, dogs get bored.
Yep.
This is also true. These rats are cool. I've held one in my hand, man. But yeah, anyway, so that was like, and then it just kept getting worse and worse. And then I was like, at a point, I was just like, what in the hell is going on here? I was just like, okay. Anyway, enjoy your time in Cambodia. I hope I never see you again. And then I walked up on stage and then made up a song about them and sang it.
I mean, you can't fight the offended, man. The people that want to be offended, like, they're just, anything you say is just going to get them more offended. There's no reason. There's no accountability. There's just offense.
I'm offended.
And that's on both sides.
Well, I told you, listen, I told you, the answer for this, the only way, there's only one path to deal with the people that are looking to be offended. And that is to take them so far down the path that they lose all hope and end up crying, and then they'll leave.
Or legalize the bitch slap.
Or go up on stage and make up a song about them that makes them cry, and then they leave.
Yes, again, removing all hope.
No.
And getting them to leave.
Fuck that. Legalize the bitch slap.
Jesus. All right, Kevin. Last week we were talking about shit stories. So
Yeah, you're starting first, man.
Son of a dude.
Dad,
I was so hoping that was gone.
He was hoping you'd forget.
I don't forget anything.
wait,
so
hang
want me
on.
to start?
Yeah,
Hang
you're
on,
starting. It's
hang
your
on.
story. This was
Hang on.
your episode.
Hang on.
Mind you guys heard mine.
Just everyone say hi to Christian first.
Hey, Christian, what's going on?
Hey, look at that.
He's also
What's happening, brother?
very hammered from watching the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it was rough.
Isn't he a
I hope
Chiefs
you have
fan?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Christian.
I hope you have a Gansberg. Gansberg.
He doesn't. He
I
has a real
imagine
beer.
every time a bad Kansas City play happened, he shot many rounds of booze.
This would be fun.
Dude, I'm
Who
gonna
else is in
be
the chat?
honest. I can't taste anything right now. I've been smoking cigars since 3:00.
Wow, man.
I opened the shop up for the game. I've been doing nothing
Casey,
but smoking
We
cigars.
could have this today.
Oh, all right.
And
Oh.
if
Wait, but
you're
you
tuning in,
already looked at it.
I haven't.
I watched you
I put
open
tape over it. That way, just in case it rolled out of the bag, because I have it partially open, so I can pull it out easier.
Seems sus.
You can say it's sus.
Oh, you think this
I don't
is?
know what
you
it
think
is.
this is the stag? Is that what you're saying?
No, I didn't say that. We might have this over him at least.
Oh,
he
yeah.
ain't tasting nothing.
Honestly, I don't taste anything either.
I haven't been able to taste for 15 years since I got my skull broken in that park in San Luis Obispo. So
This is just brown water, as far as I'm concerned.
brown water.
I mean, listen.
Are you insulting Mexicans?
The Old Forester's still
Brown
really good.
water.
There's like a sweet note on that first one.
There's a little bit of sweetness. What's the mystery bottle? Is it
know.
number one?
We don't. Yeah, number one.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like,
Okay.
Which where?
Like,
where
we're
is
not
it?
there yet. You got to taste through the others and say if you think it's better or worse than what's on the board.
Cameron, surprise for you. We get to do our game on the show now because
Because the whiskey videos were awful.
yes, they weren't pushing views.
Well, they were fun, just not many
Oh,
people
yeah.
were watching them.
Yeah, we had a
I didn't-
blast with them.
Yeah.
So do you want a review of Gansberg?
I
You
mean,
see
is
how
it,
quiet it got?
is it a Cambodian Pilsner?
No, it's
Is it an
Cambodian
IPA?
lager.
Oh,
It's a lager.
But
It's a
the thing is,
lager.
it has notes of
Pils-
here,
Pilsners or
Kevin,
lagers?
make sure that people see this so they can see that.
They
our
have seen
sponsor.
it a couple times.
Pilsner
Yeah,
is
for-
a
but-
lager, Bowman.
Oh well, then it's not a pilsner though. It's more of a lager than
They're
it's
not-
more towards the lager.
No, this is like a
Lager, but-
whiskey bourbon scenario. All Pilsners are lagers, not all lagers are Pilsners.
Yeah, this
No.
lager's not a pilsner. So it's,
Okay.
and it has caramel notes. Very nice. It's actually quite.
Caramel, what
I'm
is
not
it?
gonna lie.
Malted?
Caramel?
Are you
Yeah, it's
drinking
malted,
malt
yeah.
liquor?
Is it malt?
It's definitely malt.
basically, I'm basically.
Did you
Oh, God, I
repackage
almost
that out
said
of a 40, Bowman?
Is that a Mad Dog 2020? Just Cambodia?
That's literally basically the Cambodian version of Mad Dog 2020, or of Mickey's. Mickey's are Old English.
St.
It's the
Pauli's
Cambodian
girl.
version of Old English.
Colt 45.
Oh.
I feel like someone could
Colt
be having this
45, oh, no.
conversation in the 60s with the gallows. Like, no, I think you'd like Cambodia. I think you do very well there.
Yes, yeah. This is, they have Gansberg.
They have the Gansberg. But yeah, well, so anyway, what's going on with you guys? Obviously, the shit story Lane doesn't want to talk about.
Well,
You guys listen, have at it. I'm going to drink my whiskey and
Lane-
try and taste something.
Lane actually has one.
What's that?
The shit
Does he?
story.
I do?
Yeah, of course.
Did Lane shit himself?
I'm
at
making
some
you make
point?
up one.
What? He's not going to make it. What?
He was
how-
confused. Did you
how-
see that face?
How is that going to work? how does that
He
even
was
work?
so confused off that look.
Honestly,
Dude, wait, hold on.
I expect
Wait,
him to
hold
just
on.
tell a really crappy fairy tale.
Hold on. We're going to wait. I do have a story. It's not mine. I was there.
I knew you had a story.
Nope, I was there. It's
I
a,
know
Ca-
you
it's
were.
a Cameron story.
Like,
Yes, it
oh,
is.
it's a Cameron. Wait, it's an older
story. Yeah, yeah.
Cameron
He
shit
don't
story?
remember this one
It
probably.
ends, listen, it's adjacent related to what you guys are about to talk about. So we're hanging out at this bar called Marty's, and there was a bartender named Chase. And Chase
yeah.
made
Oh,
exquisite,
yeah, I know where you're going
edibles.
with this now.
exquisite edibles. So the bars are closed. We're all back at the place, and Cameron's like, I'm going to eat this cookie. And we're like, cool, man. I think other people already had. And I don't remember what we were watching on TV. TV was on, everyone's drinking, everyone's just being stupid. About 45 minutes go by, and Cameron looks over at us. He's like, guys, listen, guys. I'm so high. And we're like, really? And he's like, no. Dude, I'm so high. I think I shit my pants. Then it gets better. So he's laying on a futon, which is like the couch in the living room. And he
That's where
can't
Lane
get
lives.
up and
Lane
walk.
lives on that
He
couch.
can't even get up and combat crawl his way to the bathroom. So he reaches under the futon and grabs a cane from his A Clockwork Orange costume and fucking like two-hand drags himself down the hallway. So we're hearing this like ruckus. It's like thump, thump. Finally, like we hear he gets into the bathroom. And there's a pause. It's like a perfect dramatic pause. And he's like, no, guys, I'm good. And we just fucking lose at this point. Like, we have no idea what's happening anymore.
Oh, dude. Okay, so that's the thing is me and edibles, like, that specific time I had no tolerance. 'Cause I
No
hadn't
tolerance.
had an edible in a very long time.
Dude, this is how little tolerance I have. I've had edibles 3 times in my life.
Same.
This was the first. And I was still walking around town mostly coherent. So I didn't think
Yeah.
anything of it when Cameron's like, I'm going to eat this cookie. We're like, cool, man. You get after it.
Well, that's the thing
He
about
ate the
these
whole
cookies is
cookie
that-
instead of a quarter.
Well, I mean, that's the thing about these things, though, is usually when they make them in batches, it'll end up that there's more in one cookie than another.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I remember I was fucking, oh, dude, that was so funny because Lane actually lived on that futon.
Yeah.
So I was worried that I was worried that I had shit on the futon.
That you're about to get hurt.
Yeah, I realized that I realized that I hadn't shit my pants, but I realized I was about to for sure. There's that little button in your mind where you're like, oh shit, the spaceship is going to exit everything out of my body.
I just
Yeah.
watching him desperately grab under the futon for like some implement to use to get to the bathroom because he was unable to walk.
So okay, that leads into the next one. So this was just the other day, right? So I don't know if it was. It was this Indian food that Adele had ordered. Adele was in Australia, and she had ordered me Indian food, and I had eaten it, and it was the next day.
That's pretty fucked up.
And I was like, I went to go out buy all the stuff to cook for myself and for the dogs and everything, and so I've got like groceries in one hand and I've got beer in the other, and I'm wearing booty shorts, and I'm on my way into the property, right? And mind you, this property is considerably large, right? So I get I get the motorbike in, I park it, I get off, and then I'm like, my stomach's like, and I'm like, nope. Nope. Not now, spaceship. Not now. Not now. And then I'm walking, and I'm clenching my cheeks, bro. And I'm like, oh shit. It's gonna happen.
Quite
It's
literally.
gonna happen now. And so I just like pull down my booty shorts, and I've got fucking vegetables in one hand and beer in the other, and I'm just firing fucking shit across the place. And I'm just like, and the whole time in the background, it was Chinese New Year, right? So the whole time in the background, there's some like 10-year-old girl singing karaoke in Khmer, and I'm like, please, fuck, I hope that they don't stop the music. And then, of course, they stop the music, and then I'm like, fucking spray painting the whole fucking house, like, yeah, that was on Chinese New Year. Happy Year of the Snake, you Chinese motherfuckers.
Year of the brown snake.
Oh my god. I can't imagine. Oh.
Yeah,
What's
it
going
was
on,
pretty
bud?
Funny, dude.
So
Who else is in the chat?
no, it was one of a customer came in.
No, who else is in the chat? Is there anybody else in the chat?
Not
If you're
yet.
in the chat,
So
say
you see
hello.
that card there? Yeah, it says Daily Torch with the guy smoking the cigar.
I gotta bring those on.
Yeah, that guy. So if you flip the card around, there's QR codes. So
Hey.
Do edible.
just take your camera out, hold it over, and it populates. But it's on YouTube and Spotify.
Hey,
Wait, we're on Spotify also?
yeah,
I did.
it doesn't update as fast, but yeah. Hey, did you ever figure out how I can send you stuff?
Yeah, you have to. It's complex, but you have to send it to Bangkok. There's a warehouse there, and then they sneak it across the border to get it to me.
On the mic.
That's all going to
Same
get
people.
stolen.
The same people that sneak humans. They
Just tell me what how to start the process. Tell me
Right.
what my part in
So-
this role is.
So you want us to
My
send a
role in this-
package to a Bangkok coyote?
To be smuggled.
precisely.
Precisely, yes.
It's the same guy that
Seems
smuggled
kind
our
of
animals out of the
sus,
country.
if you ask me.
Well, it's hats. It's fine.
Cameron wants to know, do edibles make you poop yourself?
Christian.
Who does?
Christian.
Christian.
Oh, you said Cameron.
I know
Yeah.
I did. I was looking at you when I
believe
said it.
the question is derived to you, Cameron.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Edibles have made me shit myself in my brain, as in like there was the time when I
dude,
was in San Luis.
When you're
I
so
cannot tell you. Hold on. I cannot. The look on his face that night was so serious. Like he 100% believed it had happened.
I've made
Oh,
my.
I was dead certain that I had already shit myself.
Like
I
One-
just looked at Lane and I was like, I think I shit myself.
no.
I was like-
That's not what you said. What you said was, "I will never forget this. I'm so high. I think I shit my pants."
so he was just so outer space wasted. That he,
Oh, dude.
I didn't even know what was going on, and then I was like, I have to go to the bathroom.
there was like an in there somewhere, like a
How am I
5-year-old, like You're like, what's
Uh-oh.
going on, Cameron?
How am I going to get there? I remember there was an entire like logistic plan in my mind that I had created to be able to get from here to there.
Listen, it was executed very well.
With a cane or stick, dragging your.
It was a cane. No, it was a cane. It was a cane. It was fucking a Clockwork Orange costume.
Ah,
Yeah,
And the cane was
we
still.
did.
Say what?
We had just done a Clockwork Orange at the Classics Festival, and so for Halloween. So I was dressed as it was like I think it was like the night after or something like that. It was really close to it. But yeah, so I still had that. I had the cod piece laying around as well. I had
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, I
Oh.
barely made it. I can tell you that.
which
When
means
I
he
got in
didn't
there-
make it, and he had to throw him away.
Well, that happened to me many times. But so Kevin, your turn.
I've only done it once, and it was after a wild night of just straight drinking, and it started off in the morning.
Well, wait, where were you?
In the
Kevin's
army.
like, mine
Yeah,
was
so-
a respectable accident.
First of all, you were in the army.
Due to booze.
That's right. In the army now with Kevin, not Polly Shore. So yeah, I was in the army. I woke up morning. It was day off. I start my morning with a hot shower and a cold beer. I don't know why I like it. It's so much comfortable, and I like it. So I do that. I get out of the shower, dressed. I start drinking Jameson. I finish the bottle by noon. And at noon, we were going over to my sergeant first class's house. He was my platoon sergeant. I go down there. I start drinking with Sergeant Mora. And he likes to drink Jaeger and Rockstars. So I was drinking Jaeger and Rockstars with him.
Oh,
You had me until Rockstar.
Yeah. Well, I was already drunk by then, so I just kept drinking.
It's you think the army can afford Red Bull?
Not then.
not on his salary.
Apparently not.
So once we finish off that bottle, there was Bud Light there. So we started drinking that. And then somebody brought over bourbon. I don't remember what bourbon it was. They just said it was bourbon. So I switched to that.
Why in my head is this story a captain story?
It sounds like it should be a captain story for
Right?
sure.
What in the fuck is a captain story?
Captain Morgan. CMO, baby.
Yeah.
At least you caught up. So I switched to captain, and I'm drinking that. We finish off that bottle. So we move back to beer. And then towards the end of the night, I have my sergeant come in. He's my first line. And he brings his wife. His wife brings tequila. It was a small bottle, about yay tall and about that skinny. And we were drinking it. And she was like, "You can't keep up. We're doing shot for shot." Mind you, I've already drinking so much.
Government
And I
issue.
kept going. And then my wife told her what I had started with and where I was at. And then she just looked at me with that stunned look like, "Why are you still sitting here?" I'm like, "Because I can't stand."
Because I can't stand.
So I finished off with that. And I'll tell you about the other story that's attached to that with my LT. But I go outside and I have a smoke. And as soon as I stand up and go outside, that fresh air hits me, and I get like 2 drags of cigarette. I'm like, "Oh, like we gotta go." And I stumble through the house, and I tell my wife that, and I stumble out his front door, and I puke all over the side of the curb. And then I get in the car, and we drive back to my house.
I had almost forgotten what this story was about until just a second ago.
Yep.
Where did you shit yourself? In this
We're getting there. We're getting there.
There's a really long
Oh.
buildup, okay? It's like the Lord of the Rings.
fuck.
Just hold
Yes.
on.
Yes. It's a great story.
It's not so much what happened, it's what happened after that makes the story,
Yes.
All right, I'm in.
if we're being honest.
So we get to my house. I go upstairs. On my way upstairs, I wound up crying because my wife took my oldest upstairs, and at this point, I was so drunk that I was a toddler. I'm like, "Why is he crying? How can I help?" She's like, "You can't. Just get upstairs." She gets me upstairs, and my favorite place to sleep when I'm drunk is the bathtub. easiest place to clean. If I puke in there, I puke on my side because I sleep on my side. Easy cleanup. Turn on the shower, rinse it out. Well, the morning I woke up, there was a foul odor in the air. And when I turned my head and looked at my bathroom wall, at the shower wall, there was finger painting. So somehow I decided it was a good idea to finger paint in bathroom.
with poo.
With poo.
You-
And apparently my wife, yes, a toddler moment came in, hence the toddler. And like my wife came in at some point to use the restroom before I even woke up, and she had to struggle to sit there and hold her breath. I did not know this until like many years later when she started telling me the story. And she's like, I need to tell that story. I'm like, I don't care. I'll tell this story. I already have on podcast now.
And
it's
thus-
live 3 times.
Thus, Play-Doh was invented.
It would have been better if while she was doing that, you half woke up and started finger painting.
Who knows? It could have. She did not open that shower curtain at all. But like, I wake up and I'm like, and then I'm like, all right, well, I'm throwing all these clothes away, and that's what I did. I threw a whole set of clothes out. I'm like, never wearing these again, and I continued to wash myself. It's a great story.
I feel like it's a missed opportunity. You could have used all those clothes for a flaming bag of poo on someone's porch.
Right? It would have been great. Just Billy Madison it.
He was too
So
busy
this-
crying. I'm so unclean.
Oh my God, how could drunk Kevin do this to me?
Why did I do this to myself? I'm so unclean.
This section of our podcast is sponsored by X-Lax and Enemas, which you should do before you get drunk like Kevin or me.
If you can, then you should.
What is it?
I have
X-Lax?
one more, but it was close, and it wound up me having to pull over on the side of the road. Now, this post again, I'm in the Army, and I'm driving back from Barstow to Fort Irwin, and it's
That
about
already sucks.
35 minutes away. And I'm driving, and then my stomach gets this, and I'm like, no. Like, no. And my wife's in the seat, and my kid's in the back seat. He's a baby in a seat, in a chair. And I'm driving. And my favorite thing to do sometimes is make up songs, especially when I'm panicking. So I was sitting there singing about almost shitting my pants. Well, almost shitting my pants.
That legitimately
Do you
sounds like
do you
something
remember
Cameron
the
would do.
song?
Off the top of my head, no. I'd have to get the music that was playing at that point. It was one of my wife's songs that she had. And
Dude, I would love to know that song.
I think it was
'cause
an
I would play
anime
it.
song, to tell you the truth. So I was singing a song to an anime song that had no lyrics to it. It was just instrumental. And at
Just
some
the
point, I'm like,
soundtrack
I
to
can't do
Initial D.
this. And I pull over on the side of the road, open my truck door, and I sit on the rail for the step. And I keep toilet paper in my truck just because of this. Because I needed to go
Wait,
that
did
bad.
did you have toilet paper at the time, or did you have to like
Yes.
MacGyver toilet paper?
No, I had toilet paper at the time. The reason why I learned to do this is because in the Army, when you have to go, you have to go. And I had a man dress that I would wear on Op 4. And that man dress turned into a T-shirt pretty quickly. Instead of being all the way down to my shoes, it was all the way up to my waist.
You didn't have your battle roll with you?
Nah. Listen, I learned what the one finger wipe was, and I'm like, nah, we good. One toilet paper, we good. I'm not ready to see that, doctor.
Every time I hear a story of someone having inconvenient bodily functions with music, I can't help but think of Johnny Cash, and it's Cameron's fault.
I want to hear this now.
Elaborate.
Do you not remember this,
Even
Cameron?
Bowman doesn't know what you're talking about.
So same bar, Marty's. There's a bunch of us down there. And so what you have to know about Cameron is when Cameron gets too drunk, he's just gone. And I don't mean like mentally gone. I mean like he disappears. He's gone. He doesn't say bye. He's not like I'm leaving. He's just out. Like
And
fucking
nobody notices. Like nobody
Seacrest
will notice.
out. Well, so it happened enough times to me that I started to notice. And one time, I actually witnessed it. Like, I saw him making the move at the door, and I was like, I don't remember why, but I was like, no, hold on. Like, I needed to ask him something or whatever. So I leave and I'm walking up the street behind him, and he's moving in rhythm and throwing up in rhythm. And so I finally catch up to him. Like, he made it all the way home. Like, he was moving at a very solid clip. And I'm like, you all right, man? He's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm like, dude, I got to ask you a question. He's like, what's that? I go, seemed like you were throwing up in time. And he goes, yeah, it was the only way I could keep it in for like any period of time. And I'm like, what's that? He goes, I was playing Johnny Cash in my head. And I go, I'm sorry, what? He goes, yeah, I keep a close watch on this heart of mine.
He did not remember
So
this.
we told this story at Marty's. And anytime the DJ saw someone throwing up, they played that song for a year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is all true, dude. That is, yeah, I keep a close watch on this heart of mine.
And you were watching him do this whole time.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know he was watching me. I thought that
I wasn't so
the only
much
thing I remember
watching
was the
him
end.
as trying to catch up with him.
I move as
You just
fast
followed
as
the
Boulder
puke
and
trail.
Python skin boots, bro. Like,
Yeah. When it's time for Cameron to like throw up not in public, turns out he can move.
this is also true.
The only
So you told two stories, Kevin. So I'll tell my second one.
I thought you did tell Sue.
No, he just
No, the others were me telling his stories for him.
he just blasted his driveway on Chinese New Year.
I'm about to say I got a puke story too, but that was walking out of the Hogs and Heifers.
We'll do a puke off story. As
I
well.
would have loved to have been in the bar with the 10-year-old girl singing karaoke and like this lovely, like angelic voice shuts off. All the heads turn around. What is that?
Oh, nasty white boy.
Wait, were you
It
singing?
was in
Were you
their
singing
house,
Johnny Cash?
like-
It was in their house.
Well, no, so, I mean, like, so I live on a compound, as everybody knows, right? So I was
Yes.
inside the compound, but like the house right across the street was where the like 10-year-old girl was singing karaoke.
Oh,
Dude, the worst break, but obviously very comical for her to like stop singing, and then I'm like, I could hear them hear me. I'm like, oh shit. Fucking horrible, you know. But yeah, then the other one was I was in Detroit, Michigan. I used to be a roofer.
No, those
I
are
think
fun.
Blaine probably knows this story.
I know this story.
We shit
So-
down somebody's chimney. Santa came early.
So I was roofing the roof, redoing the roof of the post office in downtown Detroit. Mind you, at this period of time, downtown Detroit was not a very good place to be.
I don't think it still
And,
is.
Yeah, probably not. But every third house was like burnt down because it was like the day after Halloween, which I guess they go around and they burn houses down for whatever reason at that period in time. And I'm working for my Uncle Jimmy, and I'm up on the roof, and we're cutting the tar roof off in 1 foot squares. And each 1 foot square weighs 70 pounds. And there's 3 roofs. So we have to cut them and then throw them down to the next roof, and then throw them down to the next roof, and then throw them down into the you know, whatever they call it, the trash thing, the giant fucking trash thing. And then we're starting to spray polyurethane. Turns out I had no idea, but I am allergic to polyurethane. So we're spraying the polyurethane foam, and I'm like doing that part, and then I'm chucking these 70-pound blocks, right? And all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, what is going on? And then I'm like, I had no choice in the situation. It was impossible. So I'm like,
Nothing
oh God,
personal, just business.
I gotta go now. And so I go to climb off the roof on the ladder that used to be there. My Uncle Jimmy had gotten a second roofing job, but only had one ladder. So he takes the ladder and moves it to the other job.
Go, Jimmy.
So I full on shit myself. And then it's 100 degrees out, and it's like 100% humidity
It's
as well.
cooking.
And it's the beginning of the shift, like, so this is like 7 in the morning. We're
You're
gonna be
just
on there until,
marinating.
like, we're gonna be there till like 7 p.m. at least. So I'm just sitting there crying like Holdren, throwing 70-pound bricks of fucking tar off the roof, just trying to sing to myself. While I have fucking my whole pants are completely fucking saturated in diarrhea. Yeah, that sucked. But it was fun.
I'm watching Lane's face through this whole
You know what?
story,
Here's
and
the
it
thing.
changes so much.
I've heard it. But, all right, dude. All I can think when he like at the end of the story, after it happens, when he's marinating and still throwing roof tiles off the roof, all I can think of is the squishy noises from location A to location B.
Listen, you were looking this way, Casey. I was looking at his face, watching it change as he imagined hearing it. Because he got this really
I
like.
could legitimately hear it in my head. It was like-
Turns out the unfortunate part is it dried really quick.
oh,
Yeah, so it was crispy.
Yeah, it was crispy, dude.
That's gonna
crispy
leave a
bacon
rash.
by that point.
Had to
It
get-
was ruthless. And of course, I don't want to tell all of the Mexican guys I'm working with that I shit my.
Oh, they
Oh.
knew it.
they knew.
Yeah, it was obvious because you could physically see it.
I feel less embarrassed about my story because, like, I hear that apparently professional runners actually poo themselves 90% of the time.
Oh, the ultramarathoners?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they do.
I never knew that until I
Dude,
heard
race
it.
car drivers fucking urinate in their suits.
Yeah,
Well, some do it on purpose.
gotta cool down for a
that
second.
was Schumacher's pre-race thing.
Oh, because that was his superstition?
Yeah, he had to pee in his suit.
That's fucked up.
The man
That is
has
fucked up.
7 world titles.
Still fucked
I
up.
think it works.
It works for him, I guess.
There are
He
boundaries.
didn't do that 'cause he was trying to avoid. Oh wait, they don't test them for drugs. do they?
but speaking of poo,
Did you just say what in the butt?
speaking of poo,
No, that's out the butt.
I think the 3 seashells has finally been solved.
Let's
From
hear it.
Demolition Man.
Yes, from Demolition Man.
Okay. All right.
I heard this, and honestly, it makes the most sense.
Can't believe we're about to get a theory about the 3 seashells.
You
Listen,
ready?
it came to the perfect episode.
All right. So we've all seen Demolition Man,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the society and the way it is in the future, everyone is very hands off, right? There's no handshakes, there's no touching.
Yeah.
The 3 seashells, it's a bidet.
Explain.
Each one of those seashells is a button for the bidet. You don't actually do anything but click the button.
Here, I was thinking they were using a seashell to scrape.
Because of how hands off they are on things. Like, you know, we all for a while we're all like, oh, you just use them to scrape. No, they're buttons for a bidet.
Oh, they were hands off till the end of the movie.
They're like 3 different strengths.
Yeah, well, you know,
Like,
like
yeah,
one's like
One, and then
one's
there's
to
a soak
wash.
one, and then there's a wash one.
Yeah, like one's to wash, one's to dry, one's to do whatever. Like they're all for different settings of the bidet. It's a
Well,
bidet.
One's a giant power washer, just.
There's no
Yeah,
evidence.
Well, I mean, dude, yesterday I was in the fucking toilet at this venue, and we have bum guns here. And
Explain what this
basically
thing looks like.
it looks like a gun.
Like a water
It's
gun or
connected to the toilet. It's like it looks like a hose, like the end of
like a
a hose.
sink
when you-
hose,
Like
right?
a hose nozzle.
Yeah, like the hose thing, you know. And some of them are powerful, some of them are not.
Yours was not.
And this one happened to be. I had to in the middle of my set. I had to put on a 13-minute song because I really needed to go to the bathroom. So I put on a 13-minute song, and then I went in there.
Where's my remix of Inagata Davida?
I'll do it for you. So I get in there, dude, and I prefer the bum gun to toilet paper because it's, you know, why wipe shit around your ass when you can just wash it off. And so I pulled the trigger on this thing, and it was like so fucking hard that I felt like water was gonna come out of my mouth. I was like, oh God, what have I done to myself? Like,
Oh no,
and
puppy
mind
pow
you,
Glenn.
I have to give you the setting of it too. It's the tiniest fucking bathroom you've ever seen. Like you go in there and it's like even Adele's 5'3", and she still has to duck to go into this bathroom. In there, and I'm like, fucking leaning down completely, just like because I can't even sit up straight
Huddled
on the
over.
toilet. And I'm just like, boom, and then I was like, oh wow, okay, that woke me up, you know. But yeah.
But Lane,
Bidet.
you disapprove of the bidet theory?
No,
I just
no,
don't think
I
I don't
agree-
think
I
there's
agree with
enough.
also-
There's no facts and evidence.
That we've never seen the
It's all
toilet
conjecture.
itself either.
But what's the other explanation?
Hard shells that they scrape.
That they're secretly gross.
And they just use it to like as a little shovel.
Well,
Like
I mean,
little poo
Like,
shovel.
In the
They-
Philippines, they
like-
use the tabo, and the tabo is a bowl that they use to put water in, and then they wipe with their hand and rinse their hand off with the water.
Yeah, in Thailand, this is one thing that you should know about Thailand for any of the viewers that are out there. If somebody if you go to do a handshake and they shake with their left hand, that means they hate you because
Mhm.
that's the hand they wipe their ass with.
It's the same in the Philippines.
Yeah, I didn't know that until the general that arrested me at one point, and let me go, of course. But he shook my hand with his left hand. I didn't know that was a sign that he was going to fucking try to destroy my life.
Isn't that's most like Arab countries? Isn't
Yeah.
that the same principle?
No idea.
Oh, I thought it was.
I feel like I've
I mean,
heard
I
this
would-
before, and
Yeah,
I put it, and
I-
I selectively forgot it, and that will happen again.
You
that's fair.
you selectively
you'd
remembered
have
it
to
now.
You'd have to ask Muhammad.
Muhammad.
I mean, there's only like 700 million Muhammads in the world, so one of them would probably know.
Are we buying Gaza? Is that going through?
Are we buying Gaza?
I can't imagine that it is.
I don't think that'd work.
I thought we were. I thought
think
that was the rumor. Was that we're going to
Dude.
buy the land?
There is going
I
to
think
be
yes.
no end to the rumors under Donald Trump.
That's fair. I would like to buy the desalination.
I had
plant.
one of my servers today was like, "Well, Donald Trump says he's going to deport all criminals." I was like, "That's not what he said." He's like, "It's what he said." I'm like, "It's wrong. It's not what he said." She's like, "No, he's going to
Yeah.
deport all criminals and it's illegal." I'm like, "That's not what he said." I don't want to I didn't want to do it.
right.
What he said was, "We're going to contract prison space in other countries,
Okay.
not
Which makes
deport
sense.
them. There still are people. If we lose the contract, they still have to come back."
Okay.
But this becomes
Basically,
like
it's cheaper prisons.
Yeah.
Is the
random fucking people who don't pay attention to nuance are like, he's going to deport all criminals. I'm like, I want to be like, well, you're probably getting deported then. Just saying.
Can't wait. Gonna make my life easier. Less stupid people.
Can we just bring back the Coliseum?
Oh, I
Yeah,
would
I mean,
love
that'd
it.
be fun.
I'd be in
I
that
mean-
Coliseum in a heartbeat.
That could work.
Yeah, I mean, why not? You know, like fight to the death, baby.
You know, like death race almost. That'd be good.
Well, actually,
Death
actually,
race.
death race. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So wait, hold on. I do
or
have this.
Running Man, dude.
Mm.
My
Speaking
favorite.
of Trump, I am fairly certain that Elon Musk is going to be the end of the Trump presidency.
Yeah. Didn't they just get that ban for him being able to divvy into people's tax
Yeah,
information?
Sort of, not really.
Oh, okay.
There's only so they narrowed it to 2 people, which is never going to be enough.
Mm.
And it's temporary. It's a TRO, so it's temporary. But it's not like someone said it on like online somewhere. Elon Musk is Trump 2.0's Michael Cohen.
Mm.
Like Trump's going to let him do all of his dirty work until he does something so ridiculous that he's going to just cut him off. But I'm not sure he's going to be able to because Musk has too much, like his voice is too big.
Mm.
And that's going to be
Yeah.
the problem.
Okay.
Well, Musk is definitely like he's man. I feel like it was a necessary evil what he's doing, but also yeah, he has fucking far more power than most people think.
I don't know that he is. I don't know that like a lot of like some of what he's finding is honest to God waste, and some of what he's finding is being misclassified as waste when it's like proper authorized payments by Congress for certain things.
Like the aid thing?
Well, parts of USAID, it's not USAID, it's USAID.
Oh, okay.
Parts of USAID are waste.
Okay.
Not all the things that they're finding.
Right. Because
Like the Politico thing is just a payment to a service that everyone subscribes to. Literally everyone. Cameron's whispering to somebody. What's going on, Cameron?
Oh.
I thought he was laughing.
Just a second. I forgot to plug in my computer because I'm a fucking idiot.
Oh, it's dying. Yeah. So, like, a lot of it is, but here's the problem. Here's what's going to happen. Some of these services that aren't waste, that they just don't like, they're going to freeze. And eventually they're going to freeze because, like, the one problem they have is that not only wealthy people voted for Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, they're going to piss off a lot of poor Republicans. And then he's in trouble.
Fair.
Like, when it starts hitting home for services that they need in their daily lives, that's a problem for him.
Especially like things that they promised they would focus on for their
But
campaigns.
he's not going to get anything done because the Republican Party is fighting. Like, he's going to lose control. He's going to lose the coalition he's got in the Republican Party because there are legitimate Republicans in both houses that believe that we're spending too much money. And if he cuts taxes the way he wants to, like, they're worried about his tax cuts now ballooning our debt. Like, it's like when this goes through into the first reconciliation bill, it's going to be a problem.
And when is that going to happen?
Next 6 to 8 weeks, probably.
Oh, wow. So it's quick. Can it be undone by Congress?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, this is where you run into a gray area. Like, they might actually have to impeach him to undo the stuff that he's doing. Because if he just starts ignoring their orders and they start waiting for the courts to act, who knows what happens?
Okay.
He might actually be the first president convicted in an impeachment trial by the Senate.
Oh,
Ooh.
wow. Like it could get that bad.
It actually might.
Wow. Because I read the Pentagon spending one, and that one I remember a few years back, they were talking about all of the extra like double stacked employees in the Pentagon, and that spending cut made a lot of sense to me, like 5-6 years ago. But I don't know now if that's the same. I don't know if they fixed that or not.
I mean, the Pentagon's an abyss of spending.
Yeah, because there's a lot of like double, triple people doing the same job.
Yeah, but they're not doing the same job. Here's the problem, is that in a building like that, where one person in one office doesn't know what the person in the next office is doing, they might be doing different parts of the same job. And on paper, they look like the same employee. But because it's so partitioned, they're actually doing different things.
No.
Which is a whole separate issue. The whole, like, the amount of information we classify for no particular reason is a whole separate thing.
Right.
I'm back.
Cool, man.
Welcome back.
So you're saying the next 4 years is going to be interesting?
Fucking hell. It's
The next 4 years is going to be a fucking dumpster fire.
Well, I mean, this is
Sad
it's
that I don't have my dumpster fire here.
Yeah, I know. Where's your
Yeah,
emotional support
where's
dumpster
your-
fire?
It's in my other bag.
Well, it's not really emotional support.
I mean, listen, I still think
Had to be missed.
I still stand by voting for Trump, even though I think he's a clown.
Yeah.
It was better than the second option.
Well, here's the thing. Like, the reason that a Democrat didn't get elected this time, Harris or anybody else, there might have been some Democrats that could have been elected. Shapiro might have actually been elected, but no primary, doesn't matter. They got to Harris. So they got to like the bottom barrels of the Democrats.
All right.
I don't like, everyone's like, oh, it's because they hate, whoever. It's hate, it's hate, it's hate. The Democratic Party ignored what was a slight minority relative to the Democrats for a long time and got away with it. But
Okay.
the group of people that felt ignored by the Democrat Party got too big and they lost. It's not that they hate them. It's that they were tired of being dismissed and not heard. So they
Absolutely.
found a way to be heard. And the Democrats still haven't figured that out. They're still blaming fucking hate. Like, dude, like, you spent 12, 14, 16 years telling half the country they were stupid and then not listening to them. What did you think was going to happen?
That's pretty fair.
That's the reality. I
pretty
mean,
fair.
that's the reason why, like, it's funny because everybody like talks about, like, I remember Oprah and all these different ones were talking about how if Trump got elected, they'd move out last time when this was like 2016.
Still
And
waiting.
of course, and Ellen DeGeneres and all them, they all said they were going to move out and they were going to leave the country. But people like me, we left the country fucking long before that because the policies were just, it was ridiculous. Like before, I mean, I made a huge mistake when the one time that I voted, and you know it was like the second I made that first vote for Barack Obama, then the fucking whole market crashes and all of a sudden banks are too big to fail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's going to be interesting.
No, I'm with
We're
you.
going to have to dig ourselves out of some shit. We're going to have to dig ourselves out of some shit regardless of who we elected. I think Trump speeds up the process. That's honestly why it's just a quicker, bigger reset button than Harris would have been. I would have had to deal with another fucking 4 years of, mediocre white men bullshit.
So
Like-
if they impeach him, it's going to be the VP, right?
Yeah, Vance,
Vance.
who's still, he's more reasonable than Trump. Some of his positions are terrible,
Fair.
but some of them are well within the bounds of competence.
Were some of his positions, or were they the
No, a lot
Republican
of,
parties?
Vance, for, the Democrats would say that he's weak. He's loyal. Like, he is taking his boss's position and selling it as best he can right now. Like, you're not going to know what his positions are again. Like, go back 3 years and listen to him speak. Those are his positions. Get into the election, his positions are gone. You're not going to know his positions until Trump's out of office and he's running for something. Then you'll actually know what he stands for again. Until then, he's going to play the good vice president. He's going to be loyal to his boss, and he's going to carry his fucking bags. That's his job.
So he'll basically be like me with Loberg until.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
No,
the
that's
same- it
exactly
was the
right.
same, like, I anything that, like, I'm a mission oriented human, and when I was working with Loberg, it was like what Loberg says goes. So I was ruthless to protect him and make sure, because he's the guy who was putting the money in my pocket, right? So, and then after that, when he went to Santa Barbara and I decided to defect and go to another place and leave the movie theater industry, that's when I became my own president, basically.
Yeah, no, that's the role Vance is playing, and he's playing it very well, which, on some level I think is admirable. Like, at some point, when you're in a professional role, your job is to be professional.
Yeah.
So basically, he's just going to turn into Hoynes.
That's just not what the Democrats want or the media wants. They want him to badmouth Trump, and he's just not going to do it.
He's
he
being
won't.
professional as
He's
he
not,
should
because
be.
he's not Mike Pence, man. Mike Pence fucking did that shit. He defected. Look where he's at now. Nobody gives a shit about him. You can't play that game that way. You can't just be a turncoat.
Christian says Vance's VP debate performance was outstanding. He smoked Walt.
Oh, he did. No.
Yeah.
Listen, Vance has a control of the material unlike anybody in a very long time. Like,
Yes.
he's an exceptional politician, but he also knows his role. And, like, for me, there's something admirable about that. Like, a certain loyalty to your position is a big deal for me, because one thing we've lost is any sort of loyalty. Like, everyone's just in it for themselves. Like, everyone's playing their own game. And maybe Vance is playing his own game, like, in the long run.
Yeah.
Like, he might just be playing the extreme long game, but so be it. Like, whatever his motivations, he's filling his role exceptionally well right now. I wouldn't be disappointed if he ended up in that job.
That's not a. Yep.
But I mean, who knows? Listen, we're gonna have to clean up a lot of shit when Trump's done, because
But
we
we'll
still
find
a government's role is still to govern and to assist, like at the heart of it, right? A government's role isn't to support. I mean, it is on some level, but it's not only to support a free market.
What was the Reagan thing? The last thing you want to hear is "I'm from the government and I'm here to help."
No. It's, yeah. No, he actually said, "I'm from the government. I'm here to help." Yeah.
He said it's the worst thing that you want to hear. Like,
Yeah.
specifically.
I mean, I
Dude,
listen.
have you ever listened to that actual full JFK speech before he got fucking killed? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
He points out like that there's like that he's discovered a deep state and there's a new world order that's going on, and then like fast forward to Bush Senior, and he's like saying what we need is a new world order. It's like it's insane. Like if you listen to that actual, I actually mix that in my remixes. JFK saying what he says.
I mean, I don't. For what it's worth, I don't think there was a more terrifying president in my lifetime than Bush Senior.
Oh, he was fucking ruthless.
I mean, that dude was a serious. That dude was a serious human being.
Yeah. As it turns out, the Bush family, and you know, I used to hate G-Dub, as we call him, but now I look back at him and he's actually quite funny. It was pretty obvious that it was Dick Cheney that was doing everything, and he was just like there.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's entirely right. I think Bush Jr. was just easy to manipulate for the guys in power because he was an acolyte, right? Like he was a believer. And if you know someone's systems, like if you know the boundaries in which they operate, they're really easy to manipulate.
Yeah, that's also true. I mean, do you guys ever watch the movie W?
Oh yeah, with Josh
No.
Brolin,
I don't think I've seen that one yet.
That one was pretty good.
he plays an incredible Bush.
Yeah, he does a really good job.
So good, dude. And now there's a new one. It's called Vice with
Oh, Vice was
Sam
good.
Rockwell. I didn't see it yet. I haven't seen that one. How was it?
Wasn't that the one with
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale
and
was Cheney.
and Sam Rockwell.
Oh, I
Rem-
watched.
Remember
that.
we watched that.
That's good.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
That
I
was
haven't seen
so
that one
good.
either.
Didn't you watch that one in here with us?
I don't think I was here for
Oh
that.
man, we watched that in here. It was so fucking funny,
Dude. Fucking him as Cheney, fucking Brolin as Bush Jr. And Gary Oldman.
As Churchill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all three of those roles were played so well.
I mean, that's Sam Rockwell. Probably my favorite work that he ever did was Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Okay.
Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's about Chuck Barris, who legitimately nobody knows whether he was telling the truth or not. But if you look at it, it makes sense. Because when you watch, so he was the one who created the dating game and the Gong Show. That's what he created.
Yeah.
And so the dating game, actually my aunt and my uncle were on the dating game. But when they'd win, they'd get like a all expenses paid package to go to somewhere, right? And there's some really curious ones. Like
You're going to Yemen.
You're going to Moscow in the middle of the winter. And then apparently he would go, according to Chuck Barris, he wrote an entire book about this. And I believe him. Is that when he was, because when you look at the shows, it makes sense. It's like, why the fuck would you not be sending them to Bali?
Yeah.
Sending them to Moscow in the middle of winter? That doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like, but dude, that movie, it's directed by George Clooney. George Clooney also fucking dude, that's probably one of my favorite roles he's done aside from The Men Who Stare at Goats. Have you guys watched that one?
Yeah, I've seen The Men Who Stare at Goats.
I love that fucking movie, dude. Oh, I think you might have seen it with me because I played it at the Mission Theater. I remember.
Yep. No, I did.
Yeah.
For sure I did.
Yeah, I think you were there with the pre-screening with me. It was fucking hilarious. Oh,
Was that at the
There's
Mission?
a whole story about that. You remember there was the people that were flipping out in the front of us?
Yeah.
There was a couple of chicks that were fucking acting crazy.
Was
And
that the Mission though?
Yeah, that was the Mission. Yeah.
Why did I think that was the Palm?
Because I don't know, but it was definitely at the Mission.
Okay.
That's where it was. And I remember you being in the audience with me because we watched it twice. I think we watched the pre-screening and then we watched it again because it was good enough.
Yeah.
We were in the audience, and dude, there was like these people were just like, "Oh, this is ridiculous. This never happened." Blah 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 blah. And Lane's just like looking at me, and he's like, "Yep. Well, turns out a lot of people don't know about Operation Paperclip or fucking MK Ultra.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's actually a real fucking story.
Yeah.
Wasn't he in Burn After Reading too?
Which one?
Clooney?
Clooney? I don't know. If he was
Clooney. I think Clooney and Pitt were in Burn After Reading. Wasn't Clooney
I
the
know
guy
Pitt
building
was.
that sex chair in his basement?
Was that Clooney?
I think that was Clooney.
Oh shit! I don't remember
It was
that.
the rocker he was building, and
I
he was
remember the
so
chair.
yeah, he's so proud of the rocker. I'm pretty sure that because he shoots Brad Pitt.
Dude, the best fucking line in Burn After Reading is when they're in the office and they're like, well, he's in an airport trying to go to Brazil. What do you want us to do? And the guy looks at him and he goes, let him get on the fucking plane.
No, that movie was fucking fantastic, man. I mean, that's like, it's interesting when you think about the Coen brothers and their body of work because you've got like Fargo, which is like totally gnarly, very, very like that's dark content, and
Yeah.
then you've got like The Big Lebowski, which is like the complete opposite of that, and then you've got Burn After Reading, which is a total comedy, and then they have their
Dude,
body of work.
But
It's like,
even the Big Lebowski, like there's some random dark moments.
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah.
that when he first goes into fucking the chick's apartment and she's doing the like flying paint thing, and you like, dude, I had flashbacks to Silence of the Lambs.
oh yeah, totally, man. Like it was awesome. And then there's the moment when he goes to when
The
John
porn guy's
Goodman-
house.
No, that part's great too. But the John Goodman moment where he fucking gets pissed off at Smokey and he pulls out the fucking gun and he's like, "This isn't Vietnam.
This is bowling. There are rules.
Doesn't anybody care about the goddamn rules anymore?
Mark it as 0.
Taking a gun in his face too."
Mark it as 0, dude.
Yeah, my friends
There's a
didn't die
reason I'm a
face down in the
Judas
muck.
There is a reason I am a Judas priest as a religion. Like, I am definitely 100% the dude.
Dude, him standing up at the fucking Oscars and he's like, the dude just won an Oscar.
Yeah, that was great. Dude, my favorite line from The Big Lebowski though is when he comes out and I forget the name of the actress, but she's like, "If you give me $1,000, I'll suck your dick." And he's like, "Well, I'll just go find an ATM then." And it's like when he steals the rug.
Nope. My favorite.
every movie that they go ahead. Sorry.
My favorite line of The Big Lebowski is probably everyone else's favorite line of The Big Lebowski. I just hate the fucking Eagles, man.
Dude, every time that somebody asks me when I'm on stage to play the Eagles, I literally say that exactly. And there was one time that this dude, I was playing that my open mic was in a place called Lab O Ho Hea in Chiang Mai, Thailand, and this dude was like super nice, and he was like, I really loved this guy. He was fucking amazing, and he was like, "Can you please play the Eagles?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "No, like really?" And I didn't understand why. And I literally said to him, I said, "If I play the Eagles, your bar is going to end up closing. Like it's a curse." And he was like, "I want you to play it." And so I played Hotel California. And right after I got off stage, he said, "Just so you know, we're closing."
Yeah.
I was like, "What?" He was like, "I'm very sorry, but we're closing." And I was like, "God damn it!" Like I didn't mean to be that fucking on point, you know.
I like not an Eagles fan. I didn't hate the Eagles until I had to work 2 of their shows. And you realize this is obviously like much later in their career, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
this is just a
yeah.
few years ago. So you realize if you have to work the second show, that everything they say on stage is canned. They don't talk to they only talk to each other through lawyers. They hate each other. All of the fucking dialogue on stage is pre-planned and scripted through their attorneys. Because it's the exact same show, down to the fucking corny ass jokes back and forth between them.
With the same laugh
Yeah.
that's forced.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
mean
like-
that's, you know,
It's like, oh, they're just in it for the money now.
Well, I mean, as they should be. But I mean, it's the same thing. Like I watched Glitch Mob twice in a row, and I was like, the first time I had jumped the fence at what was the name of that? Snow Globe. Snow Globe.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
jumped. I broke into it, jumped the fence, stole a wristband, threw it over to my girlfriend with a stick, and we just kept using that same wristband that I stole off of somebody's wrist. And Glitch Mob was there, and it was great. The set was amazing. I was like, wow, so good. And then I saw them again like a week later in another place, and it was literally, there's no way that they were actually playing.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no way. Like, dude, last night was so cool. Like, I was playing with an artist. Her name is Brooke Palmer. I'll send her the link to this. She's really, really good, and she does live looping. And we worked on a set, like, for part of it. And so we had, like, 6 songs or something set up that were ready. And then she was like, after the last one was done, she was like, let's just keep going. So we just freestyled. And, dude, it worked fucking perfectly. Like, it was amazing. So I don't really like the whole pre-formatted. Like, Metallica is the same. If you listen to Metallica now and you see them live, dude, it's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, guys. Slayer is very different, though. Slayer, they're still in it. Like, they're still in it because, I mean, of course, they're making shit tons of money. But if you look at, I've seen Slayer twice. I've seen Pantera. I've seen them, but Slayer, I've seen twice. And still now, even to this day, Slayer is like, they're Slayer, man. They're enjoying being on stage.
Like,
You know, there's a very big difference between when an artist is like, I know this because as an artist, I've phoned it in a number of times and then I felt like shit afterward because I'm like, that sucks. I shouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't there. I wasn't present. I wasn't part of the audience because you're there for, you know, there's a connection between the audience and you. You know, it's the same as running a cigar shop, right? Like, you want to smoke cigars with the people and you want to, like, hang out and have stories and talk, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, what cigars are you guys smoking?
Oh, hold on, real quick. I was say whether it's fucking art or service, like behind a bar or in a cigar shop, right? I tell everyone the same thing. Almost everybody has an expiration date in front of people because you could like.
Except for
You
Keith
can
Richards.
see the difference between people that are engaging the people around them, that are trying to be a part of what's happening, and the people that are just there to be there, that walk behind the curtain and fucking scowl and make fun of the people that they're serving.
No, that's definitely true, man. I mean, that's one of the things that was so impressive about Dominic from Stanton Warriors, man. I couldn't believe how much he cared. Like, I mean, he's been in the game for like 30 years. And he's in Cambodia, you know, like, and dude, he was so engaged with the audience. He was like it. And to see somebody that's been in the game that long still have passion is extremely important, in my opinion.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
agree.
I've been in the game for like 25 years and I still have the passion for creating a dance floor.
I mean,
You know?
that's why the Grateful Dead was so popular.
Yeah.
Legitimately, every single concert they did was different.
Who?
The Grateful Dead.
Oh yeah, well, Grateful Dead. I mean, also they had one of the greatest sound engineers in the entire world, man. Like one of the craziest humans. Like, have you ever seen like the pictures? Can you bring up a picture of it, Kevin? Or are you too far away from the
he's too
computer
far
still?
away.
One day we'll get there.
We need
Alright,
it.
well,
We need
anyway.
like so stuff that we can cut in. We have to have in advance so we can throw it on the SD card in the board.
Like
Oh,
maybe
okay.
like a week to a couple days in advance.
Yeah,
I wonder if I could do just screen share.
I'm sure you can.
I'm sure it probably does it.
So I'm smoking a Rocky Patel Decade Reserve Collection, which is one of our distributors' exclusives.
And
It's very good. It's actually better than the regular Decade,
really,
but
well,
still smokes like a Rocky box press,
okay.
and as that's about done. Like, it's squishy, it's hot
So it's
because it's so loosely rolled.
It's a Rocky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you got, Kev?
I figure I'll let you go because the camera's on you.
I've got the Corojo.
Original documents.
How
Yeah.
drunk are you? Casey?
I am
not picking
smoking.
anything special. I'm sorry. I let everyone down.
I mean, you got something that me and Lane both at. but that's coming up. I am smoking the Gurkha Ghost Maduro.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Again?
Hey, we need
What's
to bring
wrong
the
with it?
Gurkhas back. I got to ask for them again tonight.
Okay. I'll throw
I
him on the
miss
list.
Rocky Patel's, man. I used to that's one of the ones that I forgot about that I
Dude,
really like.
Rocky's core line is really good. Rocky's R&D stuff is really hit and miss. Some of it's
Yeah.
amazing, some of it's trash. But his core line is still solid.
Yeah.
And I still really like Rocky. Like, he was a good guy.
He honestly, he's a really
Didn't we
cool
meet
dude.
him in person?
A bunch of times.
Yeah.
And he's always engaging. Like, he wants to talk to everybody. He still enjoys cigars. This isn't just a business for him.
Well, no, and
It's
he's
his life,
still the head like fight Congress guy for smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a nice guy, man. I think Lane and I met him on a number of occasions, and he was always like super friendly. He wanted to know more about like he's one of those people. It's very smart tactic, where he asks you a lot of questions and wants to know about your life and tells you very little about himself.
But he's engaged you enough that he remembers you.
Yep. Yeah, you remembered my name. I know.
Oh,
that.
dude.
He remembered your name as well.
He remembered me and Casey.
Okay, now this sounds like a fun
This is a
story.
good story.
There were a couple times he did some celebrity cigars. He did the Gary Sheffield, he did the Ray Lewis. He did someone else too.
Yeah,
Jeter,
there's
maybe?
it might be Jeter.
Anyway, the Gary Sheffield came out. He was up here for Celebrity Golf, and it was awful. And we made fun of it to him. It was atrocious. It's one of the worst cigars I've ever
It
smoked.
was so bad.
And so, how did he react?
He was fine with it. Fast forward to November, and we're at the Big Smoke in Vegas, and he has a booth. And we're like, oh, there's Rocky's booth. Let's go over there.
Yeah, we'll
And
go say hi.
he sees us coming, which was important in this particular situation because Gary Sheffield was also at the booth.
Standing right next to him.
And like Gary Sheffield is looking at one guy away from us, and Rocky sees us coming, and the histrionics that he's flagging us down with, basically saying, "Shut the fuck up, guys! Don't say a fucking word." Like,
Don't ruin this for me. Don't
Like-
you fucking dare.
yeah.
Dude, that's
I mean, it was
so
like an
good.
air traffic controller. Like, no,
Yeah.
no.
I don't think I've ever been shuffled away from a celebrity in my life that quickly.
Now, here's a question: would you guys have said anything in front of him?
No, we're not.
No.
We're not those
I'm
people.
not going to embarrass Rocky in front of Gary Sheffield.
I didn't
No.
think you would.
But just
I
the
would've.
fact that
Like-
he remembered that we hated this cigar so bad.
I certainly would have made fun of him. That's why I'm.
The problem is I like Rocky. Like, I would make fun of him. I did make fun of his cigar to his face. I would, however, not make fun of his cigar in front of the dude whose picture is on the cigar.
Yeah.
See, I would have, which would be the problem.
Yes.
That's where things would have gone wrong. The same when I called out, what was it, Carlton or whatever? The
Oh, Alfonso Ribeiro.
Alfonso Ribeiro.
Alfonso Ribeiro. Yeah, that. Dude, I'll never forget fucking up his backswing. That was so good.
Dude.
Oh,
He's
Charles
not a.
Barkley on the dude. Charles Barkley, just watching him golf. He has the weirdest.
He has that
he's a
stutter,
good
doesn't he?
golfer, But he has like the weirdest fucking golf swing that I have ever seen.
It's like a
But it-
stutter.
Alfonso
it
does or Barkley?
Barkley.
Barkley.
He has-
Yeah, well, you know why though, right? It's better. It's still not great, but it's better now.
Wasn't there a stutter at the top of his swing?
Yeah, but it wasn't. It wasn't a hitch like everyone's like, oh, it's in his head. It's in his head. No, motherfucker, the dude can't move his hips. Like he was broken. He had both his hips replaced. He had at least one. I'm pretty sure he had both. Like he couldn't walk right, much less make a
watching
golf
him
swing.
walk on the golf course was actually you could tell, and I've watched him. You know,
Well, it's the same thing
I
with
don't know,
Tiger when they're like, oh, it's his mental game, and you're like, no, he's broken. How do you know?
what's gonna happen when Barkley sees our podcast?
I don't know. I mean, dude, I love Barkley. The guy, he's one of the nicest people, like one of the nicest celebrities I've ever met for sure.
Oh, absolutely, on top of the list for me, aside from Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman was like, that's the top.
Yeah, yeah.
that I've met.
Barkley's been amazing every time I've run into him.
Same. Same. Yeah, for years we ran into him a lot because we were doing.
Well,
the
because he's been
celebrity
coming to
golf thing.
celebrity golf for 25 years.
Yeah, he's a nice guy, dude.
Yeah. I mean, he likes people. He talks to them. He jabs them a little bit. Like, you know, he's snarky as fuck. Like, he's
Yeah.
going to make jokes
love
at your
the snark,
expense.
dude.
But it's
I
not
love-
malicious.
No, I love the snark, dude.
Yeah.
He belongs at Burning Man, like, because that's like. Do you guys know about the Burning Man ranting culture? Have you ever heard about that?
Nope.
No.
No.
Okay, so there's a ranting culture at Burning Man, of which I am a part of.
You?
Of course.
No.
And there's one time I'm walking down the street, and it's called DPW, Department of Public Works, and they have these really shitty cars, and they're driving around, and they're sitting on one of the guys is sitting on the hood of this car, and he's just ranting at people, just like. And so I'm walking down this specific street, and there's this like, it's like the first day of Burning Man. I've already been out there for 2 months, and there's like this girl who comes out who's probably like 20 years old, and she's like super dressed up and glitter everywhere and everything. And this guy is on the megaphone is just like, he's just like, "Oh yeah, good luck, you fucking sparkle pony." And then he looks at me, and I'm walking, and he was like, "Look at you with your pink fucking sweater, you faggot." And I just started laughing, right? And then the girl got really offended, and then he just kept going. And then her boyfriend came out to try to attack the fucking guy on DPW. But we'll just like sit at corners and just say mean shit to people just to see how they react, and then offer them free drinks. You know what I mean? That's what we do. It's just a joke. You know what I mean? Like, we're just fucking with you. And usually it works. But yeah, there's a whole ranting culture at Burning Man that unfortunately is starting to disappear because Burning Man has basically been gentrified at this point.
Rich white people?
Burning. Huh?
Well, I
I
mean,
said rich
dude,
white people?
at this point, you can't conduct VC in the Bay Area when Burning Man's happening because they're all at Burning Man.
Indeed. Yeah, I mean, well, Google owns the majority of Burning Man anyway.
Do they know?
I didn't know that.
Really?
Oh yeah, Sergey Brin, man. He invested $750,000 on the Temple of Transition in 2011, and then he got onto the board of directors, and he's been on there ever since. Musk has been out there as well.
He's the Steve Wynn of fucking.
They've all
Burning
been
Man.
out there, dude. Zuckerberg flew out, fucking made peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and then flew in and then flew out.
Yeah, I mean, so there was a camp called Star Star that I did all the solar electrics for, and when I rolled in there, it was like Miley Cyrus and Justin Bieber. They came and they told us never, like, I don't care now because whatever, but they told us never to talk about who was in these camps. And I'm talking about, like, man, there was like, they had 5-star chefs everywhere. They had like every single person had like there was like 200 buses that were like fully set up for them. They went into the room where there's like a makeup and dressing room. So Miley Cyrus walks by, Justin Bieber's with her, and they go into this tent, and I'm still setting up the solar and whatever, so it takes like about an hour for me to do all that. And then they come out, and they literally like made like masks of their face. Like, it was like they changed their faces. Like, so you guys have seen Penguin, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's like that level of makeup.
Hmm.
Like, you could never fucking recognize them for sure.
Which is what
The
they were
only
going
reason-
for.
Yeah, I mean, that way they can go and, I mean, imagine being Miley Cyrus or especially Justin Bieber, you know, like being out there. Like, it's hard to be in the world and just be a normal human, right? And have fun. It's tough. So on one hand, it seems really ridiculous, and it seems like, you know, like these people, blah, 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 like this, they have so much money that they can just do this. But then on the other hand, you're like, well, wait a minute, you know, maybe they're just humans and they just want to have a good time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess I get it, but at some point, like, there seems to be something contradictory, especially in a situation like that, to hiding yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I know because I've been famous enough that I've had to wear a mask a couple times to be able to like even go and do something.
Even I guess I have the
But
benefit that no one gives a fuck who I am.
yeah, that's also true, especially now. But yeah, I mean, I can see the reason for it, but I think if I were in their position, I probably would just because that's all there. Like the problem, what made me sad about that whole situation is it's quite obvious that it's not them that's telling. It's not them that are doing that for themselves. It's their managers, agents, and publicists that are telling them they're not allowed to be able to do these things. So they're basically under full control of the label, which is why I never signed that contract with Warner Brothers Europe. I didn't want to be. Go ahead. Sorry.
Dude, there's something about Burning Man today. Like, what is the motto? It's like ruthless self-reliance or something absurd like that.
Radical self-reliance.
Radical self-reliance. And they're, these people are driving out like $2 million fucking bus conversion RVs with 50 gallons of water.
And it used to be tents.
You're like, when all of that's gone, you would die.
Oh yeah. If they didn't have a person like me around them, they would die for sure. Like, I mean, you have to understand the desert. Like, a lot of people don't really understand the desert in Nevada. John Fremont probably wrote it best in his, I think it was his third memoir that he wrote about the exploration of the 40th parallel or something. I can't remember the exact name of the book, but I read all 4 of them. And he talks about how when he got to Nevada, that it was like, what is this place where it's 100 degrees by 10 o'clock in the morning, and then it's less than 0 as soon as the sun sets? They lost like a bunch of horses, they lost men, all kinds of things while they were going through. And then they came through and went to Tahoe. Actually, I don't know if do you guys know that or not?
Yeah.
John Fremont went through Tahoe, and the way that they had to do that was really crazy, man. They had to use their horses because there was like 17 feet of snow, so they had to use their horses and send them up to like go this way and then go back, and they like basically created a trail while they were going on. And the craziest part about that story is when he was in the Black Rock Desert, he realized that basically because they're supposed to be he was supposed to be just an explorer, but the government had sent him with a howitzer, so they had to drag that with them as well, because they were going to go fight the Spanish essentially in California. And while they were doing it, and they were losing all like men and everything else. And then there was like a native, there was a Paiute Native American that was following them around, and they were like really terrified. And at some point, the native just came up, and they almost shot this guy. But he came up because he could see that they were all starving, and he gave them a thing of pine nuts from Tahoe that they had collected from the summer before. And so he came up and he gave them these, and he was like, I don't, in his book, he says, I don't understand why I have this howitzer, because these natives are not hostile. And then when John Fremont got to Santa Barbara, that was where he took Santa Barbara in 3 days, inside of 3 days. And then he became the first governor of the state of California for only 3 days.
Yeah.
Yep. He was the first governor of California for only 3 days. And then Sam Houston had just won the battle in Texas, if I remember correctly. And he had sent his own man to come over and take over. So John Fremont was offered a gold mine in the California mountains to step down, and that's where he ended his life.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that last part.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
Learn something new.
weird historian, me. I know a lot of history about Cambodia too, you know.
Well, you're living there. You should learn it.
Well, you have to, right? When you live in a place, like you got to learn the language. Like, do you guys know how you say hi in Cambodian?
Hi.
No.
Hey. Yo, what's up?
How are you now?
You have
Oh, you
two
don't
different
know.
versions. There's two different versions.
All right.
So the first one is kind of informal, which is like somebody you don't know. You say so should I, so should I. And then if you know the person and you respect, you say sok sabai, which means how are you. And then if you really know them, what you say back is sai sabok.
Hmm.
So it's a joke. Like sok sabai, sai sabok. They literally like, dude, this is one of the most funny cultures, like as far as comedians, like they love comedy. They love cracking jokes. They're so positive in life in general, man. It's so interesting to live in a place that has this much positivity.
I don't know what that would look like at this point,
I don't
Cameron,
either.
in this country.
Because I had a thought while I was in the bathroom, and I don't know why.
I
But
don't.
no, it's for some reason every time I step out of the restroom, and I know why. I know why,
Mm.
but I always feel like I need to be ready to fight somebody. It's always been that way since I was a kid. Because in elementary school, in Vegas, and in middle school, that's where you would have to fight people.
Oh, the hard streets of Vegas.
Yeah, it was the bathrooms, and they'd all jump you at one time, and you had to be ready to fight. Otherwise, it was gonna hurt a lot.
It was the same with me in Carson City when I was in Carson City, dude. That was fucking crazy. I remember there was a time I was across the street from Carson High School during, it was an open campus, so it was recess, and
Yeah.
we were across the street, and there was this guy that had like these spike rings on,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
he was from the God, what was the name? It was a gang that was from Reno, and they'd come down, and I was there, and this dude got into a fight with him, and this guy fucked him up so bad, so fast. I stopped it. I took the guy down, and I took him down and just fucking choked him out, basically. And then the police came, and this dude's just bleeding profusely everywhere. And like he'd been punched up so bad. And I told the guy when I was sitting with him, he was like, I don't know what to do. And I was like, the first thing you need to do is get the fuck out of here because you don't want to be a part of any of this. And the guy ran, So, but yeah, I mean, the streets of Carson were not fucking easy either, man.
But I just find it weird that that's a thing that I have, and I was wondering if other people had that feeling. Because like growing up in Vegas, you always had to be kind of ready at any point in time, especially seeing how I love to talk shit. Even as a kid, I talked so much shit,
Yeah.
and half the time, dude,
You?
no,
No.
I would never.
No. Captain Poke the Bear? You talk shit?
I know.
No.
Lane knows now that it started at a young age.
What's weird for me is like now that I've been here for 2 years, so usually I always carry pens. Pens are the ultimate weapon. You just have them, and as long as you have a pen, you can win your way out. And the other one
not a
is you
pencil?
take-
Nah, Bic.
pencil is like pencil works too.
With a
But I
fucking
mean,
pencil.
but I just don't like pencils. But either that or you take your keys, your motorbike key, and hold it in your hand, and you have that part of the key around your thumb, like across your thumb, because then you can just,
Yeah.
And I've realized now because this place is so fucking peaceful, I don't even carry pens anymore. Which is strange. And I realized the other day that for real, like might be the first time that I've ever felt actual peace, because I've always been at war. I've always been 100%, like Lane knows me. I've always been fucking like I'm gnarly.
Hiding from cops and bushes.
Yeah, there's that part too.
Punching
It depends,
chads.
Yeah, chasing chads, and he's as fast as I am, but he has the superpower of the python boots. I hope he still has those.
The funny
I
part
saw the
is
meme-
when I brought up the bathroom, Lane's face instantly changed. Like he's like, no more of these stories, just stop.
Dude, I remember like so many times in that bathroom that's right next to your cigar shop where I've seen people just like crying or throwing up or
Oh,
like falling down or getting themselves locked in a bathroom because they can't figure out how to get themselves
So-
out.
Dude, I love when people get in there. They're like, "How do you get out of this bathroom?" I'm like, "The same way you came in. How did you? What do you mean? How do you get out?"
How did you get there?
I think my favorite crying story is back when this was an old shop. We had our buddy Steve that worked here, and a guy came in and he got a cigar, and then he started crying. And some more people came in, and he's like, I just don't understand why the girls go for all these guys that just suck. I'm like, you know who knows the perfect way, and you could talk to him about it? That guy at the counter. And Steve, he gave me the worst look because he hated interacting with people like that. And I set him up for failure. I'm like, go talk to him. He has the perfect move for you to use. And I went in there and helped people.
Poor Steve.
Dude, I've done
Poor
that a number
Steve.
of times too.
I love doing that.
That's what you guys are talking about. Like, I don't live my life with that level of stress.
Well, Lane doesn't. Lane's incapable of crying.
No. Like, we're walking out, like, being on edge, like, oh, we're going to get into a fight. Like,
That's because you welcome it.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of grew up in an area where you didn't
you're
really
a
have to
fucking
deal with
warrior. You're,
No,
you're,
like, I
you're
never-
all
we were
about
big.
but I wasn't a shit talker. I was quiet. Like, I just did my own thing. I didn't realize what fighting was until someone punched me in the face.
When was that?
Junior year of high school.
Yeah, I've been waiting for it
Dead
ever
and he
since.
threw that kid into the walker.
I have been waiting for it ever since.
What happened
Like, I
after
sort of
that?
just live my life in this, like, if it comes, it comes. Like, whatever.
He wants to know the story behind you.
Oh, dude, I was a junior going into senior year, and there was this kid who was a sophomore, and fucking, he decided he was going to take my spot on the football team, like my position. And he spent a couple weeks talking a lot of shit. Linebacker.
All right.
And I didn't care for the longest time. And then enough people were like, are you just going to take that from him? So far, I was talking shit back for a while. And so we walked out of the weight room one day. I walked out of the weight room one day. I was done with my workout, fucking going to change. And he walks up to me. And he starts fucking, like, puffing up. And I'm like, whatever. And at some point, I looked at him. I don't know why. Like, I looked at him like, look, dude, I don't start fights. And you're too much of a bitch. And then I went, and then I started to turn away from him. Like, I turned, and I got 90 degrees away from him, and he socked me in the fucking jaw. And then he was smart enough to know, like, he socks me, and then he jumps on me and throws me in sort of a reverse headlock, like you're gonna DDT somebody, and starts throwing punches, like, up. And I started ducking him. I think I actually broke his hand. But I started ducking him in my forehead. But I'd never been in a fight. I didn't know what to do. But I was significantly stronger than he
You
was.
broke his hand with your face?
I'm
you
fairly
probably
certain.
did that. You've ever watched the movie Gladiator?
Yeah.
Everybody has.
Just
No,
watched
not,
it a
not
couple
that
days ago.
Gladiator. The other Gladiator.
Oh, yeah.
Rock-
No, I don't
Rock-
think I saw it. I know what movie you're talking about, though.
So but at the moment when he's in the ring in the bare knuckle thing, and the guy keeps
yeah.
ducking his head, and he hits him in the forehead, and he breaks his hand. with
Yeah,
the-
no, that's
I-
exactly right.
I've done that. I've done that.
Well, I
You
just
have-
I just started ducking his punches and taking them on top of my head. And I was pretty you could tell that someone had hit me. But I didn't really know what to do at that point. Like, never done this before. And I ended up picking him up like above my head and hucking him across the room. And he hits some lockers and hits the ground, and he stands up and he looks at me. And I remember the look on his face because he was terrified all of a sudden. Like, I'm the dude that's just been punched a few times.
All the life drained out.
And he's looking at me. I don't know if you realize, like, oh shit, like, that's the hardest I can throw a punch. I don't know what it was that went through his head. He just fucking bolted after that. That was the first fight I was ever in. Never actually threw a punch.
I mean,
Most of your
you know,
fights, you have it. You just throw
Right.
them in a
You-
fucking
you- but
chokehold.
You left a part out. And that's after you threw him. You were like, I'm going to need your motorbike and your clothes.
Wall lockers dented in.
Some girl came up to me after that. I was sitting in the volleyball game after school, and one of the girls came up and she's like, I heard you got your ass kicked. And I was like, I guess.
This is news to me.
Yeah.
When?
Like, what do you say to that?
Yeah, you should see the other guy.
But that
I
was
mean,
also
there was-
the. What's that, Bubba?
I remember there was a moment when there was a guy named Justin Nixon who was the most like gnarly, like he broke my buddy's jaw, like full on, knocked out all of his molars, everything.
Yeah, I went to school with his older brother.
Yeah, Jason. Yeah, Jason Nixon. Yeah, and so I remember. First off, he showed up at a Wattel basketball game, walked right into the locker room, and he took Joey Massa's jersey, his football jersey, and he put it on, and he walked out right in the middle of the basketball game and called out Joey Massa to go fight him. And Joey Massa was actually a pretty good boxer. Didn't turn out very well for him.
No. Justin and Jason were both pretty serious human beings.
So then fast forward, and now I'm at South. I've been expelled from Wattel, and I'm at South Tahoe, and I was well known for being the best fighter in the Nevada side because of all the bare knuckle boxing shit and whatever. And so as soon as I got into South Tahoe High School, everybody was like, you got to fight Justin. You got to fight Justin. And I was like, fuck. I was like, how do I get myself out of this situation? So I literally went into, I went, and then I went into the bathroom, and Justin came into the bathroom with me to take a piss next to me. And he was like, do you really want to fight? And I was like, do we need to? And he was like, nah, it's okay. And I was like, yeah, no problem then. Like literally, because I think both of us realized that it was like going to be full on hospital shit if that happened. You know what I mean? So yeah, and then Mark ran into Justin years later, and Justin attacked him at the God, what was it? It was at Mandarin Garden in Tahoe. Justin tried to fight my brother in the parking lot.
Well, Jano says Bowman is always ready to punch somebody.
That's fair.
Fair.
Dude, I don't have I just don't I was never. I mean, after that, I didn't mind when it happened. Especially like working in bars and shit, it was fine. But at the same time, it was never I was never out looking for it.
Well, I'm just
I'm a
surprised.
pretty happy drunk.
I'm surprised you didn't know what to do because you and your brother fought all the time.
I never hit, dude. Regardless of my brother's stories, I never punched my brother in the face. I never really punched my brother. Like I would hit him in the side
Because he would run, slam the doors shut, and you crumble it in half on him.
But mostly, I just intimidated him.
I mean, you're big. You intimidate a lot of people, even the guy that pokes the bear. Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Adam is he's extraordinarily clever.
Oh, Adam's talented. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, and so he wins in different ways.
Yeah.
It doesn't like
Until he's caught saying the wrong thing in front of your mom.
Yeah, well, that's a whole other situation.
My first fight was actually a schoolyard fight. Like the whole playground got into a fight in elementary, and everybody was fighting.
So it was like what's that? Oh man, the karate movie thing, the Karate Kid remake thing that they're doing.
I have no idea.
Cobra Kai.
Never watched it.
You never watched Cobra Kai, dude?
No, I watched Karate Kid and never wanted it to be ruined ever again.
It won't be. Watch Cobra Kai. It's so good.
I'll think about it.
No.
Cobra.
Do it.
But no.
Have you seen it? Have any of you seen it?
I've seen it. Well, I saw the first 2 seasons of it.
It gets better and better
Yeah.
as it goes along. Oh yeah, definitely.
I'll check it out at some point.
Then, dude, it's each season they start bringing in the old enemies from the other shows. So they bring in like Keith Carradine, who played in the third one, I think, and they bring in the Japanese guy from that when he the second one when he goes and fights like the guy who Danny fought, like that whole thing. It's very, very well done. I have to admit.
Okay.
But yeah, it literally sounds like a scene out of Cobra Kai. I think my first fight was the first time I got punched in the face, I definitely remember. His name was Donnie Root, and he used to beat the fuck out of everybody. And then I remember Mark when I met him the next year, then Mark just punching him in the face and his parents.
Dude, I think my problem was I took the punch in the face and I was like, that's not so bad.
You're like, what's this?
After the first one, you're
No
like,
button.
oh, okay.
Well, I mean, it's not that, it depends on who you are, of course, but
But I
like
fought-
getting hit.
My brothers constantly, so a lot of it didn't matter to me. Like, it hurt. Did I want to fight? Not really, but at the same time, who fucking cares? It'll go away.
I would rather
That
just
takes
like
time.
people.
I think the last
Same.
fight I
That's
got
why I
was
create
in
dance floors.
school.
What's that?
Last fight I got in was in school. Yeah.
What was it?
Some kid was talking trash, and he hit me in the face with a tetherball. So I grabbed him and wrapped a tetherball around his neck, and then the teacher came and separated us.
My last fight was in the army, in
I
basic
think- listen,
training.
I think the other thing for me though is it like very quickly after, like, it wasn't long after high school where I met the dudes that could do it for a living.
Yeah, because you were.
And
in
I
college.
saw their work ethic, I saw what they do, and I knew like it was like my buddies that joined a fraternity, right? Like I was never gonna join a fraternity because I had to fucking work full time to pay for school. Like I had to do other things. It wasn't even an option. Like going and training in a gym 5 days a week to fight wasn't an option for me. I was working 2 jobs and had a full-time schedule. Like a full-time class schedule.
Well, yeah, you were running the roadhouse though. You were fine.
Roadhouse.
Dude, that job was so much fun.
and even then, you freaked out those professional fighters to begin with.
Yeah.
To this
definitely
day-
definitely not Chuck. I can guarantee you that.
Oh no, dude. I like
Nobody scares that guy.
no. But I like Chuck a lot. Like Chuck was cool.
Well, there was an instance where you got hit and just smiled, and I think that's
Oh,
where
the
they got.
the dudes that I worked with, like I didn't know until years later, were fucking terrified of me. And I'm like, I'm the least fucking intimidating person here, and they're like, that's false.
Yeah, until you have the "today is a good day to die" look on your face, and then people are like, "Oh, well, this guy's no one to fuck with."
Like I was always the dude that was like, hey guys, you got to go, but come back tomorrow, I'll buy you a beer. Like it's not like nothing personal, but you obviously can't be here tonight. Like I was the fucking nice guy in the group.
That's right. You tried to talk it down before it got to that level.
Yeah, if you think your ID's real, go get the sheriff and come back.
Exactly. Exactly.
But I was like the nicest door guy in the fucking building. Even as the GM, I think I was pretty chill.
That's fair. You never rode a guy down the stairs or
Yeah.
threw a guy out of a second-story window.
Never
or,
almost
you
broke a
know,
guy's arm
or,
after he
you know,
eagle clawed you.
Yeah, or just
I
slammed a guy on the stage.
that was all reflex. He worked for me.
Oh, the
Who
fucking,
fucking
He was terrified
eagle
after
claw,
that.
the
Who
fucking,
fucking
eagle claw.
wraps an eagle claw on someone's neck as a joke?
Somebody who doesn't value their hands anymore. Eagle
those
claw.
I remember when I came. Actually, the funny part about Lane that a lot of people may not know is like, even him and I, when we've not been friends, which has happened several times, he's still taking care of me. So I remember when I came back to Opal at some point, and you gave me I went into the line and I said, I'm here to see Lane Hagen, and they were like, oh, okay, we'll go talk to him, because it was like ticketed event or something, and they went and talked to you, and then when I came in, you wouldn't fucking let me pay for a drink, and you like took care of everything.
Yeah, man, that's what you do.
Well, I mean, that's like Cody. Cody was the same way. Like he was Cody would Cody was it was like the most my biggest bill that I ever had at Marty's was $20.
Yeah.
And mind you, I had been there drinking for 7 hours and eating food.
Yeah, I mean, dude, listen, Cody is fucking rad. That dude and I have almost come to blows. Cody's fucking rad.
Yeah, I mean, he's tough too. He's he's not the kind of he's not like a back down kind of guy. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna stand up for himself. Like
Oh yeah,
that's
yeah,
a good
for
person
sure.
to know.
Dude, he's just an upstanding guy.
He is. He's never done me wrong. Never, not one time in my entire knowing of him, he's never done me wrong. He's always just taking care of me every time I roll in.
All right,
And
real
those
quick.
are the kind of people that are amazing, you know?
Yeah. You guys want to grade these whiskeys real quick?
Well, I can tell you which one I like the most.
The Fortuna.
Of course. I like this one though. This
The
one's
Fortuna
these
is
two are close. For
they
sure.
really. I like the nose more on the Old Forester than the Fortuna, but the Fortuna drinks better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more viscous. It's more oily. Not as much proof bite.
Yeah, you get a lot of the proof bite on the
If you
Old
could take out the
Forester.
proof bite in the Old Forester, I might like it more.
Yeah.
The flavor on it's really good.
Look, we got it confused for Stag.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah.
And I couldn't tell you what the first one is because
The first one I think is the sweet wheat, but I could be wrong.
Really?
1792.
Yeah. See, look, this is what I did.
Oh.
I didn't even look at it. I held it in my hand and covered it.
I mean, maybe that's why I don't
It
taste anything.
smells like a Jim Beam product to me. It smells like Knob Creek 12.
All right, so we want to see what it is.
But it's definitely it's the low hanging fruit.
I don't know if it's 1792.
I think they're both better than the first one.
Christian finished all his Blanton's Gold. I'm on Scotch. That's what he
Nice.
What's
says.
Janot on?
What?
I wonder what Janot's on.
I don't even, what does Gino drink these days?
He strikes me as a gin man.
You'd have to pencil in. Let's see what it is. I was wrong.
Yeah?
I was in the ballpark.
Oh,
It's 1792.
is it the?
That's the 12 year.
Oh,
Is that really?
That is the 12 year.
Wow.
I didn't realize it had that sweetness to it.
It does not stand up to these
96
other two.
proof. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's we had that bib
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
Sean's, and it was like, oh, there's some sweetness to that.
I don't think anybody could see that.
I think just because
1792.
of all the cigars I've had, the youth is standing out.
It's
Yeah.
I did get the age right though.
Yeah. 12 years, it's good. It doesn't stand up to these two, but it's still in its own right is good. Because I got that sweet note, and I'm like, this doesn't seem familiar.
I think this is one of my problems with 1792. It doesn't stand up to cigars very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is definitely not a smoking drink.
So I did have another thing that came to mind. It was not in the bathroom. It was on the drive up here. And I only remembered it because I saw the green foliage behind Cameron. And it's... How long do you guys
Cameron, we need to get you a light.
What do you mean a light?
Oh,
He's outside.
No. Like,
Like a front-on face light.
yes.
Yeah.
Like what we have.
I have one. I can do that next time.
Okay. But
Not that people really want to see my face, but yeah.
the thought was like, how long could you survive in a wilderness position by yourself? Maybe you can have a dog, but by yourself.
Me?
Like, how long would you survive? This is a general question to everybody. You can
Okay, so
answer
who
if
do
you
you
want.
Who do you want to start?
I mean, I'd have to figure out the fire thing. Other than that, pretty competent. Like,
We figured out fire a long time ago.
yeah, but without having
As
like
Casey holds the
flinch.
lighter up, you have nothing. You just have
Oh,
you
just
and
your-
maybe a dog. Don't eat the dog.
Okay.
I was gonna say that, but it would make a good blanket.
That's what I saw in his face. See?
So if it was a choice of my two dogs that I have, it would be Rollins because he's a trained killer.
Is he a trained
So-
hunter, though? That's the difference.
Yeah, he's a hound. So
Okay.
he can well, he's partially hound. He's actually a Thai Ridgeback, but he's got a little bit of hound in him, and he does the pointing thing when he gets to places. So it would be him and I. I would probably last for, I'd say, about 56 days.
It's an oddly
And then-
specific
Yeah,
number.
have you done this before?
It's better than most people think they'll last. Most people say that they think they can go for 3 months, which in real life, I think the max usually with no training or anything is roughly 10 days.
Okay, but where am I?
You're in the middle of a forest area, similar to what Cameron's in, but nobody's around. You're by
So
yourself.
this is,
So like
Yeah.
tropical?
Tropical.
yeah, tropical.
We can
is
go with here
definitely-
if you want.
So the thing is, my
Christian
dog is
says
really,
6
uh,
months.
My dog is really trained to smell out snakes, and snakes are good to eat. So,
Yeah, if you cook them right, you can
Yep,
get sick off of them real quickly.
oh yeah, that's for sure too. But I mean, you can also drink their venom if you want to when you're a person like myself. Have you guys ever had snake venom?
I'm looking at Lane's face right now, and the questionable look he just gave me is like, what did he just fucking say?
So I
Oh.
did a with a Paiute native person. I did a rattlesnake venom.
You sure you just weren't eating edibles?
Listen, mine was peyote.
Well, I mean, technically that wasn't edible. Oh, I've done peyote as well. I mean, I've pretty much done everything that you can possibly imagine, especially this last weekend.
Got it.
I mean, if I'm stuck in like the woods around here, like alpine forest,
Let's say you're in the middle of
like desolation.
desolation wilderness. You have nothing. You don't know that the town's here.
So
Well,
you
I
know
mean-
Mark's done. You know Mark's done that, right?
Oh, I have no doubt.
So Mark went out into the fucking. Mark decided out of nowhere to just go out into desolation wilderness. I believe it was desolation wilderness. It might have been Talak, but anyway, he went out and built a fucking igloo and lived in it for like 4 days just so he could do it.
Hmm.
I'm not even joking. Like that's what Mark did. He was like,
The igloo's the hard part for me, trying to figure out how to make sure it doesn't fall in on me. I know most of it's like heating up the snow, using your hand and all that, and making the inside somewhat livable, making a
the
little
ice
area.
heat.
Yeah.
You have to warm it up on the inside, and then you keep like it's like painting with your hand, and then you make an ice wall that holds it all together. That's where. But yeah, Mark went out there for no fucking reason, just decided to do it. There's also the time that Mark went and fucking out of nowhere went and placed third in the Beaver Classic downhill bike race just because he wanted to and hadn't even trained.
Yeah.
Well, Mark's built
That
a little
actually
different.
I believe
This is
it.
just who Mark is.
Yeah, Mark's built a little different.
So
So,
you say 54 days,
56.
56. Casey, here you think you can go what,
I'd probably be good for about a month,
about a month?
but I would also be working my way out,
Well, yeah, that's usually what you try to do.
like pick a direction and
Well, I
start
mean, you
going.
have plenty. At least you have plenty enough fat to be able to live off of.
Yeah,
As
I'd be
long as
fine.
you
I'd
have
be fine
water,
for a while.
you'll be all right.
Fucking Bowman.
Hey, these are facts. Can't
So,
argue the
Lane?
facts.
I mean, assuming I could figure out the fire thing, I think it would more or less be indefinite.
That's what my thought was too, because I mean, I have a ton of experience doing everything, so and like
Well,
I
you were in the
know how to
Army.
make a fire. Well, even in the army, like they teach you the bare minimum, but they're not teaching you how to survive off the land or anything. That was stuff that I learned growing up as a kid and just going out and doing my own thing. Like I would ride my bike out to Lake Mead from Henderson, and I would go fishing
Hmm.
every weekend by myself.
Oh, Lane's favorite pastime.
Dude, honestly, like, just make yourself a fucking net.
And like, I know how to make a lean-to, and I've known how to do that for a while. So, but if I was in a place like the middle of the desert, it'd be a little different, like finding water at that point.
Yeah, different challenges everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And-
water would be the hard part, but the thing about the desert is at least you've got, like, depending on the desert, of course, like something like the Sahara, you're fucked. You're gonna have to eat spiders and whatever.
Nope.
But like,
Yeah, the Atacama,
Nope.
you're dying.
oh, I've eaten. Well, yeah, I mean, it was, yeah,
Nope.
dude, for real. Like,
If I'm
or
in
the
the
taco
fucking
mac-
desert, I'm done.
or
Nope.
the-
I'll slip my own
tac-
fucking.
uh,
I'm not-
do you
I'm
guys
not-
hear about the guy that was an explorer went through the Taklamakan Desert in China?
No.
So the Taklamakan Desert is the largest playa, as they call it, dry lake bed in the world. So it's the one that's just bigger than Black Rock. So this guy went out and he ended up dying, but he found these temples that were way deep in this desert. I mean, this desert's look up the Taklamakan Desert. Trust me, it's
Lagavulin?
massive. It's huge. It's
Yeah.
the one that leads to. It's also an autonomous area.
What year?
Christian said,
16?
"What the fuck?" But I don't know what about.
the snake venom,
Ah, got it.
and then Janelle is drinking Lagavulin 16,
It's a good whiskey, you know.
and the botanist. I don't know what that is.
Gin.
Oh, the botanist.
Oh, see, I told you he's a gin man.
Lane's favorite gin.
Gin.
I just,
I mean, go ahead.
I will say the stories about gin. First, to my knowledge, the only alcohol product in the world where the thing that they make it from is more toxic than the alcohol they produce.
Yeah,
Yield
what is
yield
that?
juniper
Berry?
berry.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say
yeah.
it's berry, right?
juniper.
Yeah.
Also, the gin and tonic, to my knowledge, the only drink ever created where the alcohol was introduced to make the mixer more palatable.
Sipping on gin and juice.
They didn't know, so they needed sailors to drink tonic. They needed them to drink quinine because it helps fight off malaria. And the only way they could get them to drink quinine was to introduce gin. That's where the gin and tonic comes from.
Really?
Throw in the fruit, and now you can fight scurvy.
Never knew that.
Wow.
Well, Captain James Cook was the one who figured out how to stop the scurvy thing.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that's where fighting scurvy came from, but I'm saying you make a gin and tonic because you need people to drink quinine, and then you throw a little lemon wedge on there. Now you can also fight scurvy.
True. I mean, vitamin C is. I thought I had scurvy a couple of times actually.
I would believe
Because
it.
at the end of the day, I am a fucking pirate.
A bush pirate.
Dude.
Crikey. Crikey.
Wait, try not to die. So much fun.
Not what I was thinking when you said bush pilot.
I know. You thought the same thing I did.
Wow.
Yeah, but he's
mean,
after the
I
man
do it.
bush.
Yeah, I do have the butt tickler going on. So, you know.
On that hairy note,
Oh my God. Are we done?
I think we're done. We're at 2 hours.
Oh my God. Bowman, you got anything in closing?
Yeah. So we have a new so Cheers. Now I've moved from X Bar to Cheers, so we have a huge event happening with Graham Gold.
Cheers, the bar where everybody knows your name.
Yeah, so the guy he's a Kamai guy, and he named the place after that. But yeah, it's a huge nightclub. It's fantastic, and so I just cracked that deal, and then Punkocalypse. I've got the contract sent out for everything, so that's about it on my end.
Nice.
I don't have anything that exciting going on.
No.
I'm gonna start golfing a bunch. Got my swing back. Felt great.
You're excited about that for sure. There's a big old smile on your face.
It felt really good.
Golf.
Golf.
We were watching the Waste Management all week, so
Oh.
What about you guys?
the Coachella of golf.
Anything before we get out of here?
Well, we got a new product in possibly. If I can keep it going, we got these coasters that you can't see on camera too easily, but we got our little logo on there. Nice little
I actually really
skeleton
like.
guy.
I really
Yeah,
like
they
those.
are
came
pretty-
out nice.
they
You
are
gotta
super
doctor
sexy.
up the holder a little bit.
I
and They're
do.
gonna be sexy.
We'll figure that one out. I'm thinking oval and then have the same top similar.
Okay.
Piece of wood wouldn't be bad either.
That's what we're thinking. Replace the bottom with a piece of wood.
Yeah.
You guys have any new cigars coming in, or?
No, we're still waiting. So we've got our Padron account approved, but they went from the holidays straight into a show in Vegas, and they've been impossible to get a hold of.
Oh yeah.
There's like 6 conventions going on. I'm like, holy crap.
So we're hoping as soon as they get back, we can put in our first order.
Casey, what are we reviewing?
Davidoff.
Oh yeah, you can.
Did you see that happy face over there? Look at that. So smiley.
So if you're interested in what is probably going to be me shitting all over a cigar that costs too much money, watch the cigar review.
Davidoff review, dude. I've smoked Davidoff. I can tell you that 100%. It's basically like what do you call it? It's like the Lamborghini of cigars that runs like a Fiat.
It's, you remember fucking the automotive guy? I'm not going to say his name on camera because reasons.
Reasons.
That had the Lambo body that he dropped a 350 into because when he picked it off a salvage yard and the motor was Dunskies. So it was it looked like a Lamborghini, but nothing about it was a Lamborghini.
Drove like an S10.
That automotive guy.
I'm
Yeah.
fairly certain.
Yes.
I'm fairly certain that was the former mayor of Lake Tahoe.
No.
Okay, well,
Different
that one
guy.
did drive a Lamborghini and did get arrested for running a pedophile ring.
Nope.
Ugh.
Different guy. Not necessarily a better human being.
Questionable
Oh
automotive
my God.
practices.
A
Listen.
350 and a Lambo, dude. It would depend on the 350 too. It depends on how well you built it.
Wasn't it
Like, if
also
my
on
dad-
a Fiero body?
I don't think so.
I thought it was a Fiero.
I think it was legitimately a Lambo body.
Oh, okay.
But everything underneath the hood was trash.
I mean, the thing is, if you had my dad build the engine, it would be a fucking ridiculously fantastic 350. But you'd have to have him do it because he knows all the tricks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Jeannot says the history of gin is horrifying.
These are facts.
The history of us are horrifying.
All right. Thanks for watching.
Right.
You made it this far. Do YouTube things.
Like
See you
and
next time.
subscribe. Like and subscribe, baby.
What he
And
said.
share it. Share it to everybody that you know.
Tell a friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Tell
two.
some friends.